Question number 10, which as explain the power of Coparcenary to alienate his Coparcenary interest in Mithakher Coparcenary. And regarding that, as we found that the very Karta of a Coparcenary property, that is of joint Hindu family, has the right of alienation, and that is otherwise called alienation by Karta of Coparcenary interest for legal necessity or for the benefit of the estate. So, only on these two grounds, the coparcenary interest can be alienated by the Karta. So, to examine the legal necessities, which is one of the ground of alienating or alienation of coparcenary interest by the Karta, so legal necessities as explained under the Mithakher Coparcenary or payment of government revenue. So, regarding payment of government revenue, the Karta can alienate the coparcenary interest in the coparcenary property. So, also for the very maintenance of the coparceners, means the members of that coparcenary, for their maintenance he also can alienate certain coparcenary interest. So also regarding the marriage expenses of any female member of that coparcenary, the Karta can alienate the very interest of coparcenary property. So also for very performance of Sradha or religious ceremonies, which are necessities for the joint Hindu family or for all the members of the coparcenary, then also he can alienate the very coparcenary interests in that property. So also for expenses of necessary litigations relating to the common interest of the coparceners into the coparcenary property under the joint Hindu family, and regarding that the Karta or the senior most male member of that joint Hindu family, he can alienate the coparcenary interest for the coparcenary family, and that is the joint Hindu family. So also for payment of debts, and which include the antecedent debts and also any debts regarding pious purposes done by the Karta. So, he can alienate the coparcenary interest of the coparcenary as the head of the joint Hindu family, and so also any cost for building or repair of residential house for the joint Hindu family, so the Karta can alienate the coparcenary interest of that joint Hindu family holding of community ownership or joint ownership regarding the community of interest, and that is the very cost he met or the expenses he did regarding building or a new residential house or for repairing the existing residential house, for which he can alienate the very coparcenary interest in that joint ownership for the community of interest. So also the Karta can make alienation of coparcenary interest regarding benefit of the state, and as to the very benefit of the interest of state, it includes any advantageous acquisition of some property in comparison to the existing coparcenary property. So in that case, it would be a common benefit to the coparcenary property. So regarding that, he can alienate the coparcenary interest regarding the mitakhar coparcenary. So also regarding sale of small inferior shares for a compact share in a fertile land, also he can alienate the coparcenary interest. Here exactly it means, suppose there are certain lands in common ownership or joint ownership of the coparcenary in three different villages, and those lands are agricultural lands, they are inferior in quality, and to purchase a compact parcel of land which is a fertile land, in that connection he can alienate the very coparcenary interest for that benefit of the estate. So he can alienate regarding inconveniently situated or unproductive or unhealthy place for buying in advantageous locality. So suppose the very residential house is not in a healthy place, and if it is an unhealthy place, and if he can purchase another healthy location, and that is an advantageous location, and for that purpose he can alienate the coparcenary interest of the mitakhar coparcenary, and if that property is either unproductive, which at present they have joint ownership or common interest, and if it is inconveniently situated, so to gain an productive piece of land or in a conveniently situated land, in favor of that he can also alienate the coparcenary interest or the joint ownership or the community of interest. So also he can alienate the coparcenary interest for yielding more benefit or profit for the coparcenary, and regarding that he can sell some amount or portions of the existing land in common ownership or in the coparcenary, by which he could purchase some other land and get more profit or benefit for the coparcenary. So, for example, he can mortgage. Suppose the very tea garden is in the joint ownership of the coparcenary, he can mortgage the tea garden for proper maintenance of the garden. So, a factory that was the exclusive source of income to the joint Hindu family and to all the members of the Coparcenary. So he can sell such houses which are dangerous and is declared to be pulled down by the municipal committee and which did not fetch rent. So, in that case, also the Karta can alienate the very interest of the coparcenary for some benefits regarding to that estate. So, also he can sell or mortgage for his personal debts of the Coparcenary property which is joint ownership and having community of interest towards his personal debts such as antecedent debts, not those debts made by the Karta regarding any unsocial, immoral purposes. So, if he alienate regarding his personal debts and those personal debts he made for immoral purposes, then such alienation would not be valid and such debts must be antecedent debts. That means those debts he made regarding the very maintenance and all those expenses for the benefit of the coparcenary or for the members of that joint Hindu family. So he can make gift through affection, and that gift through affection must be reasonable, and in that case also he could alienate the very interest of the Mitakhya Coparcenary. So he can alienate any portion of the joint Hindu family Coparcenary interest regarding any gift for pious purposes only. So these are the benefit of the estate, which is another ground regarding alienation by the Karta of coparcenary interest in the Mitakhya coparcenary, and another one is the legal necessities, which are also valid grounds for alienation by the Karta of the coparcenary interest of the Mitakhya coparcenary. And in our upcoming video, we would like to discuss question number 7. What is antecedent debt? Discuss the powers of Hindu father to alienate for coparcenary property for payment of its antecedent debts, and also regarding question number 12, which express that what do you understand by pious obligation of a son with regard to discharge the debt of his father. Discuss. Do you agree with the view that this theory has been diluted by the very Amendment Act of 2005